Hey guys, it's me, RuPaul's younger long lost brother, Flu Paul. And you're listening to the 15 podcast / watching. Both really. I'm joined by Riley as always.
As always, it's Riley, yes.
And today our special guest is Josh.
Hi.
Yeah, so Josh, introduce yourself. How do we know you? I want to hear from your mouth.
Do we know you?
I am dating your friend Juliet.
Ooh.
Has
And
been mentioned before on this show.
I'm glad. And I lost to you in Smash like 4 times in a row. Except I only got 3 stocked once. So
So who's
I'm
the real
okay
winner?
with that.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Okay, because I didn't 3-stock you every time you do win.
I'm glad. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
So are you good at Smash, Riley, or are you bad at Smash, Josh?
I'm very bad at Smash.
I would say that we're both pretty bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to be fair,
Riley's better though.
To be fair, I was using Joy-Cons. I didn't have my actual controller. So
That's fair.
I don't know if
I normally play on a 3DS, so.
Oh yikes! What the fuck? Why do you play on a 3DS?
Because that's what I have.
It's good.
Are you kidding me?
Smash on 3DS is actually good.
I played a lot of Smash. Excuse me.
Back when what was the last? Was it Smash? Is it Smash? Was it Smash 4?
Smash 4, yeah, Smash 4.
Smash 4 and 3, and you could like use your 3DS as a controller as well on the Wii U. I would do that instead of using a Wii U controller because I was so used to playing on 3DS.
That's insane.
And whoop ass with it.
Yeah, it's the little C stick they put on there was like I don't know why it was so good.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
The nipple C stick.
I haven't used a 3DS in a while, but I know what you mean.
It makes me want to find mine now. Actually, then I can train up as Lucario.
Yeah, I'm surprised Lucario is your main. I mean, not that it's a bad character necessarily. I'm just, it's very
I just like him.
It's an uncommon character.
Big comebacks.
Yeah, that's literally the only appeal of him is that his comebacks are insane.
And he has a good like recovery. That's all I need. I'm very bad at staying on stage.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I can't play Lil Mac or I like Ness as well actually, except he also has a somewhat tedious recovery sometimes.
Yeah, it's tedious, but it can be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Smash talk. I don't know if we want to just go super heavy. I mean, we can keep talking about Smash. I don't know, but how about you tell us what you do for a living, Josh?
Sure.
I sell things. So I used to work at a barbecue store. I actually still work there sometimes. But most recently, I'm a personal wine advisor, but I don't actually know anything about wine. So I just have to talk to people on the phone and pretend I know about wine. But I'm slowly learning, so it's okay.
So that's why you're seeing Juliet, because then you can learn the wine knowledge from her.
No, she knows about beer.
She knows about wine too.
Nah, not really.
Wait, so are you a sommelier?
I think I know more about wine than she does. Not a sommelier. Sommelier is like a lot of training.
Yeah, but an actual professional.
I just like that's the equivalent of having a degree in wine, but not even. It's like absurdly difficult to become a sommelier.
It truly is, yeah.
And then but I'm just learning. I'm going to do some of the basic training though, which should be pretty interesting and fun. But at the moment, I'm just buying lots of wine because I get a really good discount.
Wait, sorry. So where did you work? I might have blanked out.
I work at the Wine People. So if you want some wine, you can actually email me at joshua.reese@winepeople.com.au.
I see you're plugging yourself on this.
Yeah, it is also bold of you to just announce that publicly.
Yeah, that's a bit worrying, hey.
Yeah,
maybe I'll cover that up with some bleep bloops. I'll send you a bleep bloop sample and you can play it over the top.
My man, this is a zero editing podcast. I probably should have given you the heads up at the beginning.
I feel like that's unfair now, but it's all right.
Anything you say from starting a recording can and will be going up.
Okay. I feel a bit cut that I wasn't told that beforehand, but it's acceptable.
Would you like to redo these last 5 minutes?
No, I don't. Let's just keep powering forward.
Okay, if it really doesn't bother you, I'm happy to redo the 5 minutes. But
No, it's all right. I'm happy to keep going.
all right, cool.
What a champ.
You're a bigger man than me, Josh.
Yeah, I want to rep my rap collective as well, Fresh Poets Society. You can
yeah.
find us on Instagram. We uploaded our first video to
I'll-
Instagram TV.
I'll put that all in the description when.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
fresh what society?
Fresh Poets Society. So it's a play
Poet.
on Dead Poets Society and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yep.
Our logo is a genie lamp because the two actors that played the genie were in both Fresh Prince and Dead Poets Society.
Wow,
Robin Williams and Will Smith.
that's pretty well thought out.
Happy accident.
Oh, so it wasn't intentional?
No, not at all.
Okay, well that is a good coincidence, I guess.
Serendipitous, some would say.
Yeah, pretty serendipitous. So, Togs,
Sure.
you just got off work.
I did just get off work. Yeah.
Yeah. Any
Shoveled
interesting stories?
a little grub down my throat, and here we are. Any interesting stories from today? Well, yesterday I delivered to the Royal North Shore Hospital.
Oh, like to a patient?
No
I don't-
delivery? How
don't-
did you get in there?
I mean, it is contact delivery. I don't work for Deliveroo or anything like that.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So no one tells me what to do.
That's nice.
I just walk into the hospital. They're like, "Excuse me, you need to sign in and sanitize your hands." And I just shit on the floor. But no, it sucked because the Royal North Shore Hospital, interestingly, all comes under one address. So even though they told me what building they like scribbled a little note of what building they're in,
You didn't know how to find the building.
that does nothing to help me. So typically a delivery will take 15 minutes, 10 if it's close, which it was. It's fairly close. So the drive there was maybe 10 minutes there and back. But I spent literally 28 minutes wandering around trying to fucking find the right building for the place.
How did you know the exact number of minutes? Do you click a stopwatch when you leave?
No, but there's like a little app we use that times our
damn.
deliveries. And so when I get out of the car to start walking towards it, I check the time. And then when I complete the delivery, I can see the time.
I feel like apps are making work really dystopian. At my barbecue store, now there's like when you clock in, it takes a photo of you, and then it takes a photo of you when you go on break and times it, and takes a photo of you when you clock back in, and takes a photo of you when you clock out. And they like go through the photos to check that it's you doing it and not someone else. It's really like
that is
it's
pretty
very
fucking
uncomfortable.
wild.
it's a bad start. I don't like it.
I don't know if you guys Woolies have done the same, but now there's cameras at the self-checkout.
Yo,
is
yeah,
there?
I was told about that by Emilio last night.
Hate
Yeah.
that.
Is that to
Hate
stop
that.
you from stealing? Where are the
Probably.
cameras? Is it just on your face?
Yeah, it's just your face.
It doesn't stop you from stealing. You can still steal. It's just I think the idea that you're being watched might prevent stealing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
I
Oh
mean,
my God,
it'll
that's
still
frightening.
it'll still happen. If you're stealing from Woolworths, I don't think you care that Woolworths knows you're stealing. You know.
Yeah, that's true. A friend of mine in Melbourne taught me this great life hack where after you click pay, you can scan something and it makes the beep sound and it doesn't trigger the weight sensor when you put it in your card.
Wow, is this a stealing life hack? You're trying to teach
I
us?
don't do it. My friend that's in Melbourne does it. He told me all about it and I'm too scared to try, but I'm putting it out there for you guys.
Well, I'm
If
a
you're
good
bolder
boy.
than me.
I'm a good boy. I don't.
No, I'll steal from Woolworths. I fucking hate them.
All right, well, Togs, do that, and then tell us next week how that
Yeah.
goes.
Can you give us a rundown?
I worked there for a year and about 3-4 months. I've served my sentence. I'm gonna steal as much as I fucking want from them.
That's a very fair statement.
Yeah.
Fucking speaking of follow-up stories.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any news on the SpongeBob thing?
SpongeGate 2020 has no updates.
No
What's
updates.
Sponge Cake? What's Sponge Cake 2020?
We won't repeat the story because it is a whole story.
Oh, it's okay. Just can you give me a 1 minute pitch of Sponge Cake?
Okay, TLDR SpongeGate 2020. A huge SpongeBob Funko appeared at my house with in a large box with my name and address handwritten on it in 2 different types of handwritings. We've decided that it is a group of friends that have done it, but absolutely no one is coming forward, even when I threaten to take it to the police.
Wow, that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
That's a commitment as well. But I guess they know that you're not going to take it to the police.
I
Or do
might.
you- But like the police aren't going to investigate, I don't think.
Yeah, they
No
have
one's
bigger
gonna
things
harm.
going on at
They've
the
definitely
moment.
got bigger things going on than
I'll fucking clog up the police a little more.
Yeah, but they won't do it. They just won't do it. They'll be like, "Yeah, we'll look into it," and then
I'll
no
waste
one's looking into a sponge cake arriving.
No, not a sponge cake.
Sponge gate.
A what?
So if you look in the photos tab in Discord, and you scroll up.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
huge
they're not. The police aren't investigating that unless it's got stuff hidden in there or something like that.
Which it might.
Have you
'cause
tried breaking it open?
I have not.
You should do it right now, I think.
Whoa.
I might make some good ASMR sounds.
I'm gonna give you a hard pass on that.
Oh,
You just get like a hacksaw and cut it in half. That would be pretty
it would
funny.
make a really good sound.
Yeah, I mean, whoa, what was that?
It would make a great sound.
And you just
Oh my god, I went off shopping today, and I got these purple pants.
I heard you went shopping, but I didn't hear you got pants.
Yeah, I was like rushing in because I was like, I need to go to this shop today, and it was closing in 5 minutes, and then I just arrived, and the first thing I looked at was these purple pants.
Wow.
They're meant for skiing, and it actually matches my waterproof jacket that I have, so I'll have a full purple fit.
Wow. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
It's a little bit brighter purple though is the only problem, but
That's
I
a
think I can
lesbian colour.
manage. Yeah, I'm a bit of a lesbian, so that's okay.
I mean, I really just want to say some like terrible lesbophobic shit, which obviously I can because I'm.
You don't
the
want that
lesbian.
being you don't want that being recorded.
I mean, I would say it like I'm one of those people who's like, oh, you fucking useless lesbian. Like,
Wow, that was slanderous. I guess it's not slander because it's not about anyone in particular, but
if you call a lesbian a useless lesbian, they know what you're saying.
do they?
Oh, I get it now. Yeah, I think I see what you're getting at.
I don't know what you're getting at all.
No, it's just like an online thing. Scroll through the Tumblr poos and they're just like, yeah, I'm just catch me being a useless lumberjack lesbian in my flannel dab.
Yeah, okay. So I don't really Tumblr, so all my internet subculture's from Reddit, but I don't even really look at Reddit anymore. And then used to be 4chan, but don't really look at that anymore either. Now I just look through Gumtree. Actually, there's some quality. I like looking for good content on Facebook Marketplace sometimes. I just find that some of the things people sell and the prices they expect to get for them is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Recently, I was looking and I saw someone selling like it was basically just a wooden stick with a skull tied to it and some feathers, and they wanted $500. And there was like a multiple paragraph warning about like the power of this shaman stick and how you shouldn't buy it if you're the faint of heart. And I was like, the value of this is just in the description on the Facebook Marketplace things. Like, I hope if someone bought it, they'd like give out a printed sheet with the warning on it, because that's really where all the value is. Otherwise, you're just buying a stick.
I don't know. That sounds like you'll get like a steal to me. I would pick that up in a heartbeat.
Like, next time I see it, I'll link it over to you.
All right, cool. If you still see it, it might be gone.
I'm sure
it's
there's
one
one.
stick, yeah.
I'm sure
they can pick up another stick and just label the same information on it, really.
No, but it definitely like
One of a kind.
it wasn't like they'd made it.
Oh, they
It looked like they'd bought it.
Oh.
Because I've been to like those shops that sell all the weird crystals and stuff.
Yeah.
And they sell like shaman sticks in there, and they are expensive, but I just don't think they're worth. And like, if you're not a shaman, what use is it to you? Surely you need some, whatever power is locked away in there. Sure, you need some sort of training to.
Hey man,
Waz it out
everyone's
on
a
that
shaman.
Ability.
Yeah.
Everyone's a shaman until proven otherwise. So it's all good.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, because you don't know you have shaman powers until you have attempted shaman powers, right?
Well, I know I have shaman powers.
Oh, so then you should buy the stick, surely.
No, I don't know how to use the stick though.
What do you use?
I don't use anything.
Well, you need to have some way of channeling your abilities.
No, I just my words.
Well, so you're like a bard, but with shaman abilities.
Yeah, I would say that. That work. I can't sing though, so I don't know if I'm much of a bard. And like lots of things cast spells just through their words. It doesn't have to be a bard.
I guess so. I suppose you're right. What the fuck are we talking about,
Yeah,
right?
what the fuck is going on?
What do you mean?
I guess it's a pretty goblin-heavy vibe right now.
I'm not surprised. That's kind of what you'd expect. So what's the first object on your desk right now, Riley? In front of you?
On my desk? What do you mean?
Yeah. Where are you? Are you sitting at a desk?
Yeah, I'm at my desk, but I'm just
Yeah.
doing
What's
this.
what's on the desk in front of you?
I have a spare battery because of last week's episode.
Wait, what do you need a battery for?
I have a wireless mouse, so I have a spare
Oh.
battery. I mean, like one AA battery lasts like 6 months. It's like it's not gonna die again, but now I'm all worried and cautious, so I've got a spare.
Yeah, that makes sense. How about you, Togs? Also, Togs, what's your real name? Why do you not disclose that?
Well, my real name is my dead name, which I do not use because it fills me with great discomfort to use.
Right, okay. So what name do you go by?
Togs.
Really?
That is unironically like what people call me.
Oh, damn.
I'll be totally honest. I sometimes forget Tog's
That
old name.
That I have a real name that is
Yeah.
not Togs. Yeah, I do, which I have to use at like work and shit.
That would be frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I fantasize about changing my name a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my friend had that. She's got Vincent as one of her middle names and absolutely hates it and wants to change it. I don't know why. Such a hatred for Vincent. But
is it easier to change a middle name than a first name?
I think it's just the same form.
Okay.
I can't imagine it's different, yeah.
Because I think when you change your name, you could technically change all of them.
Right.
Well,
Like there's a guy.
I imagine a last name is easier because in the event of marriage, you know?
True.
Like that guy that did put the opal card in his hand. His name's Meow Meow Disco Gamma Ludo Meow Meow.
Did you just say Ludo?
Yeah, Meow Meow Disco Gamma Ludo Meow Meow is his full name.
Meow?
But he just goes by Meow Meow. He's a pretty interesting
Meow
fellow.
Ludo Disco Gamma Meow Meow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Who is a biohacker.
Yeah, he runs this biohacking lab called BioFoundry.
Oh, because he got an opal card into hand and he has conviction.
I thought he was shit posting, but this is a real dude.
No, yeah. You can see he recently added me on Facebook. That was like a big highlight for me. Because I was helping him out with this project that they were working on to come up with a cheap COVID testing device. And they wanted to like build something that held water at 65 degrees Celsius for an extended period of time for under $100. So I attached like a temperature controller to a $25 slow cooker and sent it to them.
That's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah, and then he's trying to. Do you know how like lion's mane mushroom? Do you know who Paul Stamets is?
No.
He's like doing a lot of research to do with magic mushrooms and lion's mane mushrooms and all these different mushroom supplements at the moment. And Meow Meow wants to start like cultivating all these weird wild mushrooms that are proposed to have these different properties. Like one of the ones they were looking at recently is like supposed to treat jet lag really well, so it makes you really easily change your sleep cycles.
Right.
And then he was talking about wanting to grow them, and then I sent him a message like, hey, my friend knows how to grow mushrooms, we should collaborate. And he was like, okay. And then he added us on Facebook, and so hopefully we'll be working on that once COVID eases up a little bit more.
Whoa, that's pretty.
And he wants to create like a bank of, because you can get like spores from mushrooms, and then you can put them in a little jar and have them like growing, but they won't actually, when they actually shoot out, like the little things that stick out of the ground is just called the fruit.
Right.
And like the mycelium, the little web network under the ground is more so what the mushroom is. So you can kind of keep them in little jars
Yeah.
And the idea is he wants to build up like a bank of all these weird exotic ones in Australia, so that then anyone could grow them, and he can like hand out samples, and you can kind of like create like a system of people trading mushroom samples and stuff like that.
Are you just one of those whack ass world law people, Josh?
I don't know what world law means.
Lore of the world.
Lore. Law.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't really understand the term law of the world.
I would consider you a very lore
Are
of
you,
the
are you
world
are you are
person.
you a random facts person?
Definitely.
Okay, yeah.
But
So
like,
yes, whack
I'm
ass.
studying biotechnology at uni. So that's like, and one of the subjects in that, which I really liked, was biohacking. And Meow Meow came and did a lecture for us. And that's when I first like met him and was like, I want to be more involved with what this guy's doing. So that's why I know so much about this stuff.
Man, that is pretty fucking wild.
It does feel phenomenal to read an article that says Mr. Meow Meow.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the funniest thing was I'll find the screenshot. He was like shit posting about, because that's the other reason that I have like a lot in common with him is we're in a lot of like similar shit posting groups on Facebook. And he was shit posting about Elon Musk's name, and it was hilarious. I can't remember. He posted like, what kind of ridiculous name is this? And it's just hilarious coming from Meow Meow Disco Gamma Ludo Meow Meow. He's actually a politician as well, though.
What, like an Australian politician? Like, is
Yeah,
he Australian?
he's like in charge of the Transhuman Party,
Right.
which is about like becoming cyborgs and stuff, and about how we need to transcend being human to progress, sort of thing.
That's insane.
And so all his friends have all these crazy weird implants. The most wild one he told me about was someone that had like magnets. Because do you know how speakers work?
Mhm.
How it's like a little magnet that gets moved around. A little coil makes like an electric field that makes a magnet vibrate to make the music. And so this person had magnets in the tips of his fingers, and then a necklace that like generated an electric field. And so he could wear the necklace and stick his fingers in his ears and play music through his fingers.
Josh, I gotta be honest. You're kind of blowing my mind at the minute.
Like that blew my mind. When me and my friend at the end of the lecture, we were like, we're going to get magnets in our fingers because like we wanted to get on board with it. And then I went to talk to him about it afterwards, and he was like, no, don't get magnets. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, they always go wrong. And I was like, damn, if he's telling me this, the man that put an open card in his hand, I'm probably not going to get magnets in my fingers.
The magnets in your fingers end up like sticking to one another.
He was saying that
So like when you clamp your hand around a certain part of your body, you end up like catching your foreskin.
no, it's more to do with
clamping and squeezing on it. And you just get
no,
that.
that's not really the problem's more so because it's made of like iron. Magnets have to be made of iron. There isn't a good way to like insulate that from your body, and then if it like breaks open or something, it can really like poison you.
Oh, it can poison you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so like there's no, and he was basically saying like all of the ones on the market at the moment quite easily break open. But people get them for, there was someone I spoke to had it for a very practical reason. I can't remember what they did for a job, but it was something to do with like sensing magnetic fields or sensing electrical fields. And they basically had the magnet in their finger because instead of using a device, they could like just put their finger on stuff and then they would feel the vibration through their finger. So instead of like having a tool, they just used their finger, which I thought was pretty crazy. That's like proper cyborg stuff because it's not just doing it so you can like, people get it just so you can like pick up bottle caps with your finger and stuff like that. So you can be like, oh, haha.
Right.
But there are actually some people that get them for more practical reasons.
See, I would imagine that having a magnet on the tip of your finger would just fuck up any electrical devices you're like touching. You know?
No, magnets don't fuck with electrical devices too much.
Or like phones and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, like, because I had a really fat magnet at one point, and it doesn't really break stuff the way I think more modern technology is a bit more resistant to it.
Right.
Yeah, older technology is definitely.
Like old TVs, they get messed up by magnets.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff, but yeah. But you can actually look up, like, if you type in dangerousthings.com, it has all of the different like implants you can buy. So you can get all these crazy. The one I really want to get a ring. You can get a ring with an NFC chip in it, so you can like have a link. I want to have like a link to my website when I tap someone's phone with my ring. I think that would be cool
That would be.
because I'm not quite committed to having like a chip in my hand, because that's what like Meow Meow has. He has this like chip up his arm that if you tap it, it takes you to his website.
Right.
That's
Except,
so
yeah,
fucking-
that's a little bit. Oh well, they do. Yeah, they do LED implants now and stuff. Yeah, they even sell one. They sell like kits of it if you want to get a whole bunch of different implants at once. I remember one of the most wild ones we heard was ages ago. Some guy got a temperature sensor into his arm, but it was when the technology wasn't that advanced. So apparently the implant was like the size of a cell phone,
Right.
and he had it under his skin. So imagine like a cell phone on your shoulder under your skin. And he got that put in, and it controlled the air conditioning in his house. So when he got cold, it turned the heating up.
Dude, that's fucking insane.
Except the reason apparently he had to turn it off because he was living with his girlfriend, and if he was a smoker, and if he went out for a cigarette, it would crank up the heating and be like boiling inside, and then he'd get back inside and it would go down again, and it annoyed them too much.
Yeah. Man.
I do not know what I expected when we started this episode, but this wasn't it. But we are fucking here now.
Honestly, this is
Yeah,
the
I don't know
World Law
what
episode.
I don't know what you expected.
This was crazy.
I have like lots of weird hobbies.
I've never had a guest just like talk at us like this and to just sit here and be like, yeah.
Yeah, I that's definitely like I definitely talk at people. Do you have any like questions? I can answer some questions.
Well, you see, going into this recording. Oh, you okay? You go, dogs.
No, I had. I can't remember what it is now.
Well, going into this episode, I thought we were mainly gonna just gossip about Juliet, and that would have been that.
Yeah, that.
But this is very interesting world lore, and she told me she was gonna listen to this episode specifically, and I feel like she'll be very let down if we don't at least talk about her a bit, you know?
But would she want to hear just like us talking about her?
That's true. Maybe she wouldn't like that.
I feel like she'd find it more entertaining if we're not.
That's true.
But at the same time, I can see Juliet loving hearing shit about herself.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, not a lot, but I'm sure she would, like, you know, hello, Juliet. Are you listening to this right now? Hello.
I'm sure she is. Hello.
Yeah, Togs, hit her with a hello.
Hi.
Tom- Oh. Might I ask, what's your Discord picture?
It's Sonic from the Sonic movie, but it has Detective Pikachu face.
Yeah, okay, I see that now. It was really familiar, and I couldn't work out why. I was like, where have I seen this before?
My favorite image ever.
I don't know what my favorite image ever is.
It's just so fucking cute. I love it so much.
It is adorable. Oh, sorry. Was that cough really loud?
Nah, it's all good, man.
Oh, you can have to turn it down.
So fucking baby. Look at it. I've just opened the photo. It's so fucking cute.
I don't know what else I can talk
now
about.
that I look at it, you can see the reflection of like angry Apom in its eye.
Apom.
You know do you know your Pokemon, Josh?
Not really, sorry. I only really played
Did you watch Detective Pikachu?
Yeah, I did watch
it's the purple one that goes off the shits.
Oh, okay.
Purple monkey with like a hand tail.
Oh, yeah. I do know him. Yeah, okay.
You can see like the reflection of it going crazy.
That was an interesting movie because like I thought the acting in it was really odd and kind of made me cringe. And the people I went and saw the movie with, we were all just laughing about like how hilarious the acting was. But at the same time, I still like I wouldn't say it's a bad movie because just like all the CGI shots of Pokemon were animated so well, and there was so many epic like vistas, and all the cinematography in it. There's so many really cool shots, and just seeing Pokemon moving around in a
Yeah.
live action scenario was
Yeah.
so awesome that it like made the movie entertaining.
The fucking
And
all
it's
the
almost like made it good that the acting was so weird to me, because it's just like, I don't know, added to it.
Say what you will about video game movies, but what Detective Pikachu and Sonic have done for the industry, I think it's honestly amazing. It's like what World of Warcraft was trying to do with their movie, but just didn't.
What about like Tron though? That's like a
I
video game movie.
I feel like the problem with Tron was a lot
never
of
thought
people.
about that.
Yeah, no one attaches that to the video game though. Yeah, because the video game was so old.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whereas, Sonic and Pokemon are so amazingly iconic.
But the problem I have with the Sonic one is like Sonic isn't really an iconic game anymore.
I disagree.
I disagree with that as well.
But like, he's an iconic character. But like, when was the last Sonic game that was good released?
Sonic Mania.
Sonic
Like a year
Mania.
ago.
Yeah, Sonic Mania.
What's that?
Dude, Sonic Mania was a fucking amazing game. It came out like a year or so ago.
What is it?
Sega saw that the whole Sonic franchise and all the games that they were releasing wasn't working, and they were like, "Okay, how do we get back to the success that we achieved in the original Sonic video games? How do we get back to that?" So what they did is they got old designers from those games, but more importantly, they fan sourced. They took all the designers and the content creators and the animators and stuff who worked on all the fan games that everyone loved, the fan made games.
Oh, right.
And they brought them on to make Sonic Mania, which revamped a lot of old levels from the old Sonic games and made a lot of new and fresh games.
Oh no, okay, yeah.
In the original Sonic game.
I think I have seen this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's I guess it's still like a remake of the original. Like, yeah.
Well, it's not
I wouldn't. Remake. It's not a full remake. I wouldn't classify it as.
I would say it's a reimagining.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good way of putting it.
That's interesting. I'd never even heard of it. I really liked the OG one.
Well, I suggest you look into Sonic Mania.
Exactly.
Yeah, I might. Have you guys played Cave Story?
I've heard a lot about it.
Cave Story.
You definitely have to play Cave Story. It's not at all like Sonic, but it's like a 2D platformer game.
It looks similar to like Celeste or Shovel Knight.
Yeah, it has a similar.
But it's made by one.
10 out of 10 on Steam.
No, dude, it's free as well. You don't have to buy it.
I wasn't aware it was free. What?
No, yeah. If you just type in Cave Story in Google, I don't know if there's a remake that you have to pay for now, but if you type in Cave Story, it's cavestory.org. No, just go cavestory.org. It's the original one, because it was like made by one guy as a passion project, and so you can just download the OG game for free.
Oh, it's Tokuto Monogatari.
Is he a famous game maker, or how do you know him?
Okay.
With such a good accent, you must be a weeb or speak some
Japanese.
Japanese.
I do speak a little Japanese. I am also a voice actor, so like pronouncing things correctly is part.
What do you do voice acting for?
Myself, I am very unsuccessful.
What for? Games?
Games, advertisements, fucking.
Are you developing games?
Whatever I can get my grubby little hands on.
I'll have to connect. Some of my friends are making games. I'll have to see if they need.
I mean, yeah, hook me up.
Yeah.
World's colliding right now. That's pretty.
Because I want to start making video game music for my friends, because I've been making music recently.
Josh, are you shitting me?
What?
Do you know what I do?
What do you do?
I do gamer school. Thank you very much. I'm going to school to make games.
Yeah, a couple of my friends do it. I can introduce them to you, and I can make.
Do they go to my school? Out of curiosity.
I don't know if they go to your school.
Okay.
I think they're about to finish actually. Well, actually, sorry. One of them is doing maths for uni, and then he makes games on the side.
Yeah.
It's really weird though. I would have never expected him to do maths. Like he hated maths in school when I knew him, and then for some reason he went to maths in uni and loves it. But he's probably going to end up making games and just doing the maths degree for the lols.
Right. Well, you need math for like programming and stuff.
Yeah, so he's taught himself programming.
Yeah.
But he's an absolute complete gun.
Togs, I'm sorry, I feel like I cut you off I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, were you going to say something?
I was, yeah.
What was it?
Okay, so the reason that I can pronounce what was it? Dokutsu Monogatari as well as I can is because there's an anime called Bake Monogatari.
Oh,
So I can read that. And the reason I know what I specifically remember the name Bake Monogatari is because do you know the song Renai Circulation? The one
no.
that's like
I didn't know
Oh,
that was
that
the name
sounds
of the song, but
that
I like
sounds
that.
kind of
it's called
familiar.
it's called Renai Circulation, and
That
it's the
sounds
opening to the intro of Bakemonogatari. And I know that because my friend and I sat down and watched guess the anime opening quizzes for hours.
Oh, you know a good anime. I don't know if it's technically an anime, but so there's this
Cory in the House is an anime.
no so there's this. Have you guys heard of like web comics?
Yeah.
The
Webtoons.
Korean ones?
Korean? What?
Yeah, there's a Korean. So there's this Korean website called web comics.
Are you talking about Homestuck?
Web. Let me make sure this is the right one.
I feel like you're talking about Homestuck.
I use Webtoons myself.
Maybe it's Webtoons. That's what I'm thinking of. Webtoons. Sorry.
I use Webtoons for my online.
Manhwas? Or what's it called? What's it called when it's Korean? Oh, damn it. But heaps of webtoons are Korean. But there's this really good one on there called. There's a really good one on there. I think it's the most popular one on there. Maybe not at the moment. It used to just be the only good one on there. Wow, it's not even high up anymore. It used to like be really highly rated. But it's called Tower of God.
Oh, Tower of God is so popular. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's actually an anime of it now.
There is, yeah. Which
Yeah. Have you been watching it? Have you read Tower of God?
No, I've neither read it nor watched it.
Okay, well, I've read not all of it, but I was really into it, and then I stopped because it gets released weekly. It's been released weekly, and like the person that does the art also writes everything else for it. So it's crazy. I don't know how they got the money to do. I think someone backed them. Crunchyroll might have gotten behind them. But yeah, it's interesting because when you start reading, lots of people complain that the art style is terrible because in the beginning it's like not that good, and then it gradually gets better. Gradually gets better as the artist gets better. But it's once a week they release an episode, and it's really, really, really good. And the anime's just come out, and I was like very apprehensive because I loved the I don't know what the Korean word for manga is, but I love the webtoon of it so much.
The comic, yeah.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, the anime is insane. Me and my friends have been watching it and watched together once a week, and it's so hype. The music in it is so on point. But it's interesting to see how they've like translated it because a couple of the characters they've made different to how I imagined them. My favorite character's on point, which is good. But yeah, I really like it. The main character I'm obsessed with is just there's this really weird thing they do where all of the characters are kind of weirdly androgynous, and it just has the best vibe. So the character I really like, he ties his hair different. He like ties his hair to make himself look like a girl, and because he's got really feminine features, he looks like a girl when he has his hair tied up like that. And he randomly will change how he has his hair tied up, and normally it's to convey things, but people get like frustrated because they're like, are you a boy or a girl? And he just kind of doesn't acknowledge that they're asking him. It's so he's just my favorite character in any show.
Any show.
Yeah, he would be. In my Discord, I'm called him. In my friend's Discord, that's my name.
We have our first Kinney on the podcast.
What's a Kimmy?
A Kinney.
What's a Kinney?
Kinney is when you kin a character, or
okay.
you believe that you are that character, or the physical embodiment and realization of that character in the world.
I don't think I am.
You were not. You would know if you were a Kinney.
Okay. I just like him a lot. It's like I would like to be him. Not I don't think I am him.
I don't know, man.
Have you seen Gurren Lagann?
No, but I know what the intro sounds like.
Oh, no. I was going to say this. There's a character in that I really like as well, and I stopped watching when he kind of teetered out.
Right.
What's your top 10 anime recommendations? Actually, no, just give me one each.
You might hate me, but I don't watch anime.
That's right. I don't watch anime either.
All right.
I'm just watching this Tower of God one because I liked the webtoon so much. The only anime I've watched is Full Metal Alchemist, and I watched the wrong one. And then I really liked Samurai Champloo, but I watched that because the guy that makes the music for it's one of my favorite hip hop producers.
Right.
And have you seen Samurai Champloo? Oh no, you don't watch anime. Do you like lo-fi hip hop?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Well, basically the guy that does the music for it is just a musical genius. And so the whole show, it kind of is like you're watching a music video because
Right.
it's about samurais fighting, and then it has these hip hop beats, except all the sounds that happen while they're fighting are integrated and on beat to the music.
Okay, I like when that happens in like anything. So.
No, but this is just always in the show. Like every little sound is somehow integrated. The only problem I have is that the voices are too loud, and I want the music to be a bit louder because
Right.
I'm like mostly watching the show to listen to the music, and then the show is just this really cool story that's happening over it.
Right.
Except obviously for most people, they probably are focused more on what people are saying. Except I think that I'd love to make like a different edit of it where I crank up the music somehow.
So it's like a music video, but like it's reversed where the video is the focus and not the music.
No, it's because there's not always music playing, but like it's very heavy focus on music, and there's a lot of different music that plays.
What was the
Which
name of this again?
Samurai Champloo. It's really short. You can binge through it. It's on Netflix.
On the flicks.
That actually looks a little familiar now that I've got it up.
It's really, really good. But yeah, Tower of God, highly recommend. It just has really, I don't know. I like it because I find that there's so many, yeah, I don't know. I guess with how it's similar with a lot of animes, but it's just like there's like they manage to capture character tropes of like all the kinds of people that you meet so well.
Right.
And like if I meet someone, I feel like I could like assign them to a character in that show because it's so broad.
Who would you assign us to?
I don't like know you guys well enough.
I'm sorry, Josh. We hung out for like 2 hours last night.
I know. I could.
You did also say you could assign it to anyone you meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I have to like meet them a little bit more. And I'd have to watch. I haven't been reading Tower of God as much recently.
I have to like meet them, like MEAT, you know? Like
I just remember when I was reading it like a lot. When I was reading it every day on my phone, which I'm sure I'll start doing again soon. I would like meet someone and be like, "Oh, this person's such a so and so," so often.
They're such a Rachel. They're such a Phoebe. You know.
It's so interesting because there's a character in Tower of God called Rachel.
Called Rachel and Phoebe.
No, there's no Phoebe. Most of the names are really weird. Rachel's the only like Western name that I know of.
Oh,
they're all.
So speaking of Phoebe from Friends, which by the way, if you didn't get that was a Friends joke.
I did.
I would just watch Space Force. I finished Space Force a few days ago.
Yeah, how's that?
Have you watched that yet? Either of you?
No.
I've watched Spaceballs many a time.
I've heard it's really good.
You've watched Space Force many a time?
Mm-hmm.
Space Force. It came out like a week ago.
Oh, Space Force. You said Spaceballs.
Yeah.
No, not Space. I mean, I love Spaceballs, but no, Space Force.
No, what's Space Force?
Nope, don't give a shit.
Oh, you don't give a shit? Okay.
Yet. Change my mind.
Okay. It's like it's a new Netflix show, and it's like do you like The Office? Did you watch The Office?
I'm not a big TV watcher.
Okay.
That's the thing with anime. Like I like anime, but I just don't. I can't focus enough to watch TV. Right. Some shows like really captivate me, and if I'm watching it with someone, then I'm okay. Except I never like watch it on my own accord, unless it's in a very specific. And then normally I try and watch stuff that I don't really care about, as dumb as that sounds, but it's like when I'm watching TV, I don't want to be actively watching. I just want it to be on in the background.
Right.
So I sort of choose shows that aren't good, which makes people really annoyed because they're like, you never watch TV or movies, and then the only ones you watch are bad ones. And I'm like, yeah, because that's just how I like to enjoy it. And I acknowledge that they are bad, except it's just I don't want to be following along. I'm normally doing something else at the same time.
I get you.
I really liked what have I watched recently? Midnight Gospel. I'm a big fan of, but I
Have
only
not seen it yet.
watched a couple of episodes of it, and I want to go back.
Hannah's been trying to get me to watch that real hard.
It's very like. I think it's an interesting show to watch together because, like, I think that's why I haven't watched more of it. Is because I found it really interesting because it's just the format of it is a podcast, and then after the podcast has been recorded, an animation studio does all the animation for the podcast.
Right.
And it animates it into this animated story. So they're just chatting, but then there's this whole animation story that's happening that's kind of separate, but also represents what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And they often delve into these like really complicated philosophical concepts. But it's not hard. I feel like I'm making it sound like it would be hard.
No, I love the idea of that.
But it's not. It's just more like it's really day-to-day stuff. Like the one I watched that I really enjoyed was this guy that he had been on death row for ages, and then he was innocent, and he basically was to deal with it. He learned about Buddhism. He was reading about Buddhism in his like prison cell, and then he like reached a point where he said that he was like he didn't feel like it was a cell, like he was learning and improving so much. And like just the way you hear him talk is just like the way he's come out of this experience of being in prison and then being on death row, but then not coming out of it is like you can't imagine someone coming out with such a positive and amazing attitude.
Right. See, when I was looking at like the art for it and everything, I just assumed it was something in the next line of like Adventure Time. Yeah.
No, it's the same. It's the same artist. So that's why.
Yeah.
But it's not at all like that.
But visually, it looks very similar.
Yeah, visually, but the problem I had with it was like sometimes I found it hard to follow the animation and also follow what they're saying. Right. Except the thing is, because the animation's kind of telling the same story, you get this weird experience of like sometimes you're listening to what they're saying, sometimes you're just watching the animation, and then a couple of times it just lines up perfectly where because the animation is always a really abstract way of portraying what they're talking about. And I didn't pick up on it often, except the person I was watching it with was much more, I don't know, she was just like much more present and aware.
No, more woke.
And yeah. And so she was able to like explain it to me. And then after she'd explained some moments to me, I started seeing other moments. And when like the podcast and the really complicated conceptual animation depicting it lined up, that's like what makes the magic of the show.
Right.
But I just really, yeah, don't worry if you're lost in that. It'll make sense when you watch it.
I get it, but I'm just saying, like, wow, you are fucking woke as shit, dude. Just like this whole conversation. It's like every 20 seconds it's a different topic, and we're just like...
we're here for the ride.
Yeah, this is the most roller coaster kind of episode we've had.
I'm glad. That was my intention coming into this.
Was it?
I talk about
and snatch wigs.
I talk a lot. My friends all say I should start a podcast. But
you're welcome back here whenever you want, and then
I'd love to be a friend of the show.
Oh, you already are.
I'll make you a little jingle that you can play at the start.
Oh, that could be pretty lit.
It'll be not so like it won't be as crass as this thing. This device is like it's actually a really interesting story that I can tell you about. So basically, this see that weird sound it's making?
Yeah.
So this is a copy of a really famous Roland synthesizer called a Roland 303, and it was designed in the late 70s to be a bass guitar. instrument, and it completely failed commercially because people said that it just wasn't useful.
Right.
And then after it had been discontinued a couple of years later, a few guys picked them up and were like, hey, if you turn the dials all over the place, instead of sounding like a bass guitar, it sounds like you get the idea.
Yeah.
You can make some wild sounds out of it. And it like birthed this whole genre called acid. And because that sound is like a really acidy sound. And then
I think I've heard of acid, yeah.
Yeah, and then that like just changed dance music moving forward. And like there's all these really famous songs that are actually acid and you wouldn't even know, and they have people playing a weird instrument like that.
Right.
But I just find it hilarious that now they're ridiculously expensive, but when they made them, no one wanted to buy them. And then all of a sudden someone realized they were good, but then they were already discontinued, so there weren't that many around.
Right.
Except this is like a copy made by another company that I bought because I wanted to play around with it.
That's what you bought yesterday, is it?
Yeah, I should have brought it in at the time, but I didn't want to disturb you guys with making weird sounds.
I don't think people would have minded.
Yeah,
I still think it sounds like the quack sound from the duck game.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out because Juliet wanted to make this like frog puppet
Okay.
that makes a
She loves her
that
frogs.
that is a musical instrument. So I'm trying to work out how I could like wire one of the controls in this, have it on my wrist, and wire up one of the controls to be controlled by whether the frog's mouth is open or not.
Right.
And I think I could do it, but I'm just trying to work out the logistics at the moment. And I have other projects with higher priority.
What could possibly be higher priority than Juliet's frog puppet?
Well, I'm like really ADHD, so I have all these weird projects that I'm trying to come up with, and I slowly managed to sort of accomplish some of them. Except like at the moment, I've got this like van, and I'm trying to build it into like a mobile party machine.
Yeah.
So I'm building a big speaker system to open out the back, like in Tokyo Drift kind of thing. And then I'm gonna have like cooking equipment that comes out the side, so I can like cook ramen and I want to call them ramen raves, where I like serve ramen and blast. So play like J-pop while everyone's eating, and then play really heavy like techno for people to dance to after they've eaten their ramen. Yeah. I had actually planned on having like a fundraiser to raise money for my van and host like have like a birthday party, but make it ticketed, or have like a donation box.
Yeah.
Except then COVID happened, so I couldn't have the first ramen rave.
Wow.
Well, hey, now you can just delay it a bit, and then we can come, and that's two extra
definitely.
tickets.
Definitely. Oh, well, it's gonna be like I'm not worried about selling it. I'm more worried about like finding the right venue and stuff like that.
I see. I get what you mean.
Because like I have to have a venue where I can provide all the alcohol and I can cook food.
Yeah.
I found a really good one, but the limit is 40 people. But then I also heard someone talking about how they had a rave there, which definitely a rave would not have been 40 people. So
Right.
I'm going to investigate it further.
Well, there's 40 people, and then there's 40 people that are fine with being super close quarters. It's like.
Oh well, no, I want more like 80 people.
Exactly. Oh.
In this space,
Yeah.
but it's a big space, but it's more like they obviously only want 40 people being there, but it's like whether I could talk to them, or it might be a legal reason for like not enough escapes or something like that.
I see what you mean.
But a lot of my friends run like illegal underground warehouse parties, so I do have like access potentially to warehouses that I could use.
Yeah.
But this is like a scout hall, and I don't really want ramen. The problem with those warehouse parties is people go to them with this like they want that kind of really grungy vibe.
Sure. Yeah.
And they go to a warehouse, whereas I want mine to be more like uplifting.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, we're all having a good time rather than like grungy oof 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 vibe that a warehouse brings.
Right.
So I'm trying to find a happy middle ground.
Right. Oh man.
And like the goal, you gotta.
What?
You said you gotta.
I said I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Just this is all unbelievably woke, and I can't believe this conversation. Like it's just it's insane to me. Just the whole
Yeah.
thing.
But my goal, like, with like creating a ramen van
Yeah.
is so that I can have parties like on the beach, so just park up places. And then
Right.
the reason I want all the complication I'm coming into is that I need the speaker system to run completely on batteries, so I don't need to carry a generator
Oh, I see.
because I want it to be the figurehead of my ramen brand, which will be called Ramen Bomb.
Right.
And then I want to use this van to like travel around and promote Ramen Bomb, which will
Right.
promote like because what I want to do with my biotechnology degree is come up with actually I don't know if I want to talk about this publicly in case
Okay,
someone
yeah, we can
stumbles upon it and steals my
we
idea.
can keep it on the
But
down low.
yeah, I'll explain that to you guys after the recording.
Sure.
But it kind of ties together.
Man, so I don't even know if we've even asked a question in this entire recording. Like this has just fucking been anecdote after anecdote, and I don't think I've given up. Like I don't think our brains have had a moment to relax.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You can relax if you like.
Nah, it's good,
I'll
man.
give you a break.
This is just a very this is a very like it's the kind of conversation we're all paying attention to. It's like
Yeah.
you know, it's like usually we'll like tangent off into I don't know some bullshit, and the other person will just like zone out or like I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm the guest. I wanted to provide some content.
Honestly, yeah, I'm pretty impressed you have provided the content in which you have, because some previous guests don't know what's happening. But
Yeah.
you know, when you know, it's
Well, I wanted to prepare more, and I had a plan for stuff to prepare, but I actually ran out of time.
really
So
what were you
I will have
preparing?
that. I'm not going to tell you because it'll be a secret for when I'm next on.
Sure.
But you'll definitely love it. It's okay. You can be very excited about it.
Okay.
It involves
I'm not gonna tell you, but hype yourself up as much as you can.
it involves what's it called? It involves great apes.
Oh god,
So
dude, fuck.
you'll love it.
Does it involve the Gigantopithecus though?
What's the Gigantopithecus?
You don't know what a fucking it's a Gigantopithecus, for the record. How do you not know what a Gigantopithecus is, my man?
I don't know, where would I be educated in such a thing?
A Gigantopithecus.
Right here on the 15 podcast.
A Gigantopithecus is a prehistoric like mega orangutan, basically.
Oh wow, that's
And they're one of the species that went extinct because they were too successful and just ran out of food.
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and they were
That's
like
gonna be like us.
yeah, they were like around India and like Indonesia and stuff.
Wow, that is gonna be us. That's hilarious. I bet they were really intelligent as well.
I don't know if you saw the remake of The Jungle Book, like the live action one, but they replaced the orangutan in that movie with a Gigantopithecus.
Oh, that makes me want to watch it.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
pretty
that's
cool.
really cool.
It's pretty cool, and it's like that they were legit. It's that I think the skeleton. I think it's a pretty commonly thought theory that the skeletons of the Gigantopithecus were what
Yeah.
people associate with Bigfoot, because when it was all like
Oh, okay.
like when the continents were still pretty connected, well, at least when Alaska was still with Russia, that you know a few of them would have gone over to North America and would have just died there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, they can swim quite well as well. So
I don't think
if
they could swim across the Pacific, but I get your point. Yeah.
I don't know, like you maybe a really determined one. Like animals that can swim tend to like sometimes just swim ridiculous distances. Like that's how we got water buffaloes here.
Really? They swam from Africa.
Not from Africa. I think they swam from like somewhere closer, but they did swim to Australia.
Right.
Australia has water buffaloes, by the way. I hope that blows your mind because it definitely blew my mind. My manager at work was like, "Yeah, he was hunting water buffalo," and I was like, "What? Where?" And he goes, "Oh no, in Australia." I was like, "What?" It's like, "What do you hunt water buffalo with in Australia?" And he was like, "Oh, what else? A longbow." And I was like, "What? You hunt water buffalo in Australia with a longbow?" And he's like, "Yeah, but you also have to have a magnum in case they come at you." And I was like, there was just so many things that. Firstly, the fact that I don't know how you hunt a water buffalo with a longbow. Then I didn't know you're allowed to have a magnum in Australia. I didn't even know we had water buffalo in Australia. Like, just so many parts of what he said made no sense to me, except then it all seemed to be true, which was quite overwhelming and confusing.
Yeah. Man, that's pretty wild. That's got to be like the most Giga Chad man I've ever heard of.
No, he's. I don't want to speak badly about him because
Okay.
potentially, not that anyone's going to see this. I'm hoping. Then again, I hope people do see it though, because I think this has been a pretty interesting conversation.
Yeah, speaking of it being an interesting conversation, we are at the
Giga
hour mark.
Chad.
So
Oh damn!
we do usually only record about an hour. You know, we can go a little over.
If you have questions, you can ask me questions.
I'm good.
I'm pretty good too. I mean,
We wrap it up there. Can I try and play a beat? Let's see if I have one.
Yeah, sure. Play some beats.
Let's see. I don't know if I have any saved, but we'll find out.
And you made that. Whoa, it keeps going.
Yeah, that's some like random things I've been working on. The one I did want to show you doesn't seem to be on here, frustratingly enough.
That's all good. We can save it for next time.
Yeah, well, I'll have like an actual. I can show you some. I wish I had a way of playing the song I'm working on that sounds like a video game song through here, but I don't actually have a way of routing my audio through that. But I can set that up for next time.
Cool, man. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, how we usually do it,
Yeah.
to wrap up,
Mhm.
is we just let the person talk, and then they will, like at the end of your sentence, we will just cut the recording.
Oh, okay. So maybe you guys should talk, and then you can cut your own recording because I've been talking the whole time.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, if we let you do that, we'll talk for like another 20 minutes. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Tugs, do you want to do it?
I mean, absolutely, fuck yeah.
Was I meant to stop at that?
Well, like apparently you didn't.
I didn't because I wanted to know if you wanted to do it before I did it, you know?
Yeah.